name's Michelle, and welcome to the WorkMan application. WorkMan is a Windows 10 desktop application that allows for the simple creation, maintenance, and tracking of workflows. As we reviewed in video 2, My First Workflow, WorkMan can be boiled down into 3 simple steps. First, drawing your flow. Next, customizing your data. And finally, adding users. In today's video, we'll focus on customizing your data and how to use the data form builder within the WorkMan application. Specifically, we'll cover the different field types that are available in the data form builder. We'll talk about how to customize the field properties. And finally, we'll address the task name template, what it is, and how to use it. Now let's get started by opening up WorkMan. Entering in your username and password. And accessing your home page. After signing into WorkMan, I'll go ahead and I'll select the purchasing workflow that we created in video 3, the flow. From here, the inbox, I'll select Edit Workflow, and then the data icon sheet here at the start of the workflow to access the form builder. Here we are at the data form builder, and as you can see, it defaults to a simple subject and description. For now, we'll go ahead and remove these items simply by hovering over each field item and then selecting the X button here. And here we have a confirmation message, and we do want to delete this field, so we'll select yes, and we'll do the same for description. Now we'll just kind of take a deep dive into each of these fields and see how they can be used in our example here, which, to reiterate, is a purchasing workflow. So we'll kind of create a nice little form that could be used when initiating a workflow about something that you're purchasing. So the first things first, we have a simple text box, and we'll select it from our list of fields and drag it into the form. To customize our text box, simply select it, and the field properties will appear on the right-hand side. In our case, we'll go ahead and just write name. We want to know the name of the item, that we're purchasing, and we'll make this a required field. We really do want to know what it is that we are purchasing in our workflow. And as you can see, when I select and deselect required field, the name of that field type is bolded. So we'll keep it here as selected as required. All right. So the next field that we can choose from is this multi-line text box. And this is really just a larger text box, and it's great to use when you expect a fair amount of information to be recorded. It's usually useful when going through these different steps, just so that all the necessary information comes along into each step. And in our case, we'll go ahead and write specs. We'll call this specs so that we can get the technical specifics of our item. And I made a little typo there. All right. And this won't be required. Some things are pretty straightforward, so we'll go ahead and move on to our next field. Here we have the date field, and this is really an important thing to have. This is great to use when you're tracking when the order was purchased, when the customer has placed the order, or in any such scenario. And in our case, we're going to go ahead and record the purchasing date. So we know, okay, so we've purchased our item on this date, and we can kind of keep track of when we should expect it in the office. Purchasing date. All right, and our next 3 fields are allow for the user to kind of select from some different choices. And the first one here is a simple drop down. Now this is really great to use when you have a long list of choices that might not look so great as radio buttons, and it really allows for kind of a simple and neat view of these choices by using a drop down. Now to add in the choices, just go ahead and look at this field items box here at the bottom of field properties. There's another text box where we can simply add them in an easy way. And in our case, we'll go ahead and add in some brand names, such as HP, Sony, Apple, and Samsung. Now there can be a number of different things. We'll just go ahead and put other as well. And we'll name this drop down brand name. Right? So the next thing we kind of want to look at here are radio buttons. Now, radio buttons kind of take up a little bit more space on your order form, so you would most of the time like to use it when you only have a couple of options. So in this case, we kind of want to track, does this item that we're purchasing, does it have a lifetime warranty? And that can really help us make a decision if we should buy it. And we'll just kind of make this simple. Either it does not, or it does have a lifetime warranty. And as you can see, just two nice little radio buttons here to determine, if the item has a lifetime warranty. Now next we have the checkbox, and this is great when you're expecting a lot of different options and you're not really sure what the item will have, and you want the user to be able to select multiple different aspects. And in this case, we'll just go with, are there multiple colors available? So we'll go with colors available, and we'll go with silver, gold, black, and maybe there's something fun like red. We can get our printer or our computer in red. And as you can see, there's some really nice checkboxes, and you can select multiple colors or just one, depending upon the item in question. Now finally, we have this comments field. And the comments field really consists of two sections. The first one is a multi-line text box, and the other is a read-only history of all the entries previously made. So each entry will appear in this field down here, and it'll allow for easy tracking of employee comments, concerns, and any other aspects of the workflow instance. And in this case, we'll just call it internal comments. Make it simple. Let's talk about the task name template. This will determine what the live tile says in your inbox. So you really want this field to contain the elements that have the information that kind of will allow the users to easily identify the instance of the workflow at each step. So in our case, we probably want name, and we'll get rid of subject since we're no longer using that. And maybe we want brand name as well. So as an example, as we used in our video 2, the flow, what would appear in this instance of the name template would be something like printer HP or computer Samsung. And that way you can easily identify what you're buying, and it just creates a nice and easy way to understand what the tile is referring to as it goes through each step in your inbox. With that, we can close out the data form and publish our workflow again. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the form. We'll navigate back to our inbox. I'll initiate a new instance, and you can see our nice lovely form all here available for us to use. And I'll go ahead and create some sample data just to take a look. Keep with a printer example. We need a lot of these, and we wanted to scan, color, and fax as some specs. We haven't determined the purchasing date yet. That'll be something that we do in our final step. But we do know that the brand name we want is an HP. And all of this information is really something that we'll know in our next step. So we've really filled out everything we need to initiate the flow. But I will add as an internal comment, needed by August 2017. So we need it next month. All right, so we'll go ahead and initiate this new workflow instance. And as you can see, we're in our go to store step, and we've used, and you can kind of really see that task name template in action. It says printer, HP, really easy to understand, and kind of really provides a little bit more information than these other tiles that was using the previous data form. So we'll go in here, and we've found our printer in this case. It does not have a lifetime warranty. It comes in silver and black. And we'll go ahead and put as an internal comment, looks best in silver. And we'll add that in, and as you can see, our last comment is recorded here in the history section of the comments data field. As I said, we found the item, that's why we were able to fill out this other information, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next step, which is to check the price. Now this is really simple. We don't need to update the data form in any way. The price is under $500. It's great. And now we're in our last step to buy the item. And here finally we can put in our purchasing date, and it defaults to the current day, and in this case we'll just keep it at that, but you can easily change it here in this kind of month, day, year sequence. Alright, and with that we'll just kind of purchase the item and submit it, ending our instance of the workflow. Alright, so that's everything we wanted to cover today, and just to recap, we looked at the data form builder, all of the different field types, how to customize them, and how to really use that task name template. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy using the WorkMan application.